Welcome back to the GTN Show.
Yeah, welcome. This week, we're discussing whether age group racing has gone up a level.
Yeah, this weekend's results would certainly suggest so. Wow, it was very impressive. Also, we've got a lot of drama from the women's race at Ironman Hamburg.
And we have more of the Norwegian method.
And some £8,000 wheels. Okay, kicking off with reacts, as we normally do, things we spotted on social media this past week. Just a few, really. I mean, we're going to get on to the full results from Ironman Hamburg later on in the show. But first off, and many of you may have seen this already, there was a lot of drama out there. In particular, Kat Matthews seemed to experience quite a lot of it.
Yeah, she definitely got her fair share of the drama, although there was a lot of drama somehow in that race. But yeah, as Kat Matthews got disqualified. She posted afterwards an explanation of what happened. She had already had a problem, which she posted about also, but they had Race Ranger at this, right? And if there's a red light shows, they had told them explicitly before that if you see the red light and you don't continue and overtake, and the red light means you're within that draft zone, and you don't continue and overtake, you're going to get a drafting penalty, 5 minutes. End of discussion. They had also told them that there was a no overtaking zone. And Kat Matthews saw red, literally, and she overtook because she was terrified of getting a penalty, and it was the no overtake zone. So she got disqualified immediately.
Yeah, like that autopilot just kicks in.
It's a very brutal one. I mean, you definitely have to say, those are the rules. The no overtake zones are there for a reason, for safety, especially on the back of what we saw in Hamburg last year, which was tragic. So they have changed the course, made it safer, and then these are the kind of rules they've put in place, like no overtaking zones, to make it more safe. But Kat Matthews is on the receiving end of that. And it kind of really affects her season, because she's really going for this pro series, right? The Ironman Pro Series. And if you really want to go for that, you kind of need 3 scoring Ironmans, full distances. And she's also signed up for the T100 series. So where does she make up the other?
Yeah, there's not much room between or breathing room. I mean,
exactly.
She was having a bit of a tough day. I really feel for her. She had a mechanical issue on the bike. It seemed like her hydration mount or the bottle cage sort of snapped off, and then she was fumbling on the side trying to take off the bottle and pop it in the rear mount, and then trying to do something with the cage and all sorts.
Well, yeah, Ironman rules, you can't discard anything on course. So she's got like this broken mount with a cage and a bottle and another piece of whatever it was, the mount. And she's going to carry them with her, but they're not attached to her bike anymore.
And amazing, she actually managed to eat back into her deficit that she lost through that, and was actually really doing quite well. And sort of, knowing Kat's run prowess, she probably could have gone on to perform very well, if not win the race. And then obviously got the DQ. So, oh man, it must have been a stressful race. Yeah,
brutal. Really, really unlucky. There was some other drama there too. There's also this post by Try Rating, our friend Torsten, who lives in Hamburg, and he posted this photo of a very tight 180 turn at the end of the bike, where Sara Svensk kind of braked a little bit too late.
It looks like, because it is just an out and back, that section.
Yeah, it's just a 180 degree turn.
She was down there, suddenly came off, and you just see her actually on the footage, just like snaking, and it's skid straight into the back of Els Visser. Yeah. What I was impressed at is Els Visser actually stayed upright.
Yeah.
She did get a puncture soon after, which I don't know if it was caused by this or not, but quite impressive skills by her.
Yeah, we'll get to the full results of Ironman Hamburg a little bit later on. We'd also discuss the standings in the Pro Series. Moving on with this one, as Jonas Darkman, who today should be on day 27 of a 120 Ironmans in 120 days. So he's not even a quarter of the way there yet.
We did say we wouldn't necessarily do this in every show, but I think we have done it in every show so far. But it is really impressive.
Well, every week it gets more impressive, so you kind of want to mention it. So yeah,
and he still seems in high spirits, which is great. And we are going to actually catch up with him very soon out at Challenge Roth, when he'll be literally halfway through this whole challenge. So yeah, stay
looking
tuned
forward to that. Maybe not do the whole thing with him, but some of it.
Right, now for the Try News. This week, we're going to discuss Ironman Hamburg. Now, not the pro racing, though. We'll get onto those results very shortly. But for once, we're going to actually talk about the age group racing, because it was fast. Okay, so for example, the top 3 age group men went sub 8 hours. The top 5 age group men ran 2:48 or quicker, with 2 guys running a 2:41. Only one guy in the top 10 ran slower than 2:57. That's insane. Has the age group racing just gone up a level?
I don't know. That is insane. I mean, the fastest age group at this one, Els Visser, who was actually on the Zwift Triathlon Academy, set a new Ironman amateur world record. It's the fastest time ever by an amateur. Now, he does have an engine, and we're not terribly surprised that he's going fast, but this fast. He actually went to the Rio Olympics in the men's coxes for rowing, so he knows how to work hard and he knows how to suffer. The next Camworth, although he's 37, so I don't think he's going to go pro. Now, still, it is incredibly impressive. And the thing is, it's not just him. Now, it was a fast day of racing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Now, before we get onto that, I mean, people are going to jump in and go, yeah, but it's a short course and various things like that. We've actually looked into this, and we've had a look at various athlete Strava files and various stuff. The swims, on the most part, are between 3,900 to 4,000 metres. So if anything, a little bit long. On the bike, yes, a tiny bit short, between 176 to 178 kilometres. And on the run, between around 41.7 to 42 kilometres. So yes, a little bit short, but not half an hour quicker. And it's well within sort of the parameters that we see a lot of other events running within. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think you can really say this was this fast because of the short course. So Hamburg is a fast course, and it was a new bike course. They did change it from last year because of that accident, and it's changed previously since a while ago when they first started the event. So it's got faster and faster, and the run is also ideal for fast run times. It's laps, so you can really tick them off. It's flat and it's around the bay, and it's also protected from any wind. So the conditions were ideal, but still, has age group racing jumped up that much?
I mean, we were actually looking back because you've won this race before, albeit on a slightly different course. We can't
we can't go
exactly.
Yeah, but I went over 8 hours to win the pro division then. I mean, different course, but still, like, you're barely winning the women's pro one in 8 hours now. The women's winner was 8:19, which is the 5th fastest ever women's iron distance race. So it was a fast day. It is a fast course. But seriously, has age group racing gone up that much? I mean, is there something we're missing here?
It is scary, isn't it? I mean, are these top age groupers basically training like pro athletes? Is that what it takes these days to go and win your age group? I don't
think they always have. There's always been age groupers who, have trust funds or whatever and train a whole lot, or have the support of something like a Zwift Triathlon Academy and really train hard and then post fast times. But this is just next level.
It's very impressive. We're not suggesting anything more than this. It's more just, wow, things seem to have moved on significantly. And
we're going to put the question out there to you guys. Leave your comment down below if you think you have an explanation for why this one was so particularly fast, and why the level of, it seems like everybody in the age group is so much higher.
Maybe it's tech. Maybe it's the tech these days.
Well,
we might ignore the 3rd place finish.
To be fair, I didn't have super shoes back when I won it. They didn't exist then.
Well, yeah, that is a major thing. That is a major thing.
Yeah. All right, moving on. And Ironman have announced a new partner. Now I'm going to ask Mark to pronounce the name of this partner that Ironman have joined with. Before I tell you what it is.
DAZN?
This is not right.
Sounds like a washing detergent or something. I don't know. DAZN? DAZN?
It's not.
What is it?
It is DAZN.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Oh, sorry.
To be
DAZN.
fair, to be fair, I had to Google it. I went on YouTube and they had a bunch of pro athletes who were like, "How do you pronounce this?" And they were all like, DAZN, obviously. DAZN, obviously.
Here's their check for $1,000.
I had no idea. Apparently, maybe Gen Z can leave vowels out of all their words and know how to pronounce them, but I certainly didn't. It's called DAZN. It's kind of like YouTube for sport. So it's a free streaming platform where you can stream all different kinds of sports, and now they've partnered with Ironman, so they'll be presenting all the Ironman Pro Series for the rest of the year and for the next 2 years. So you can watch them live streamed around the world, excluding the USA, Canada, and China, I believe. But everywhere else in the world, you'll be able to stream it on this platform, those races, which is a pretty cool partnership. I mean, they've gone all over. It's been all over the place, right? Trying to find where the coverage is for Ironman events, etc. And now it's all going to be in one place. It's going to be on this platform
streamlined.
where you can see it. And the coverage is also getting better, as we saw this weekend at Ironman Hamburg. So, yeah, it's moving in the right direction. Pretty cool partnership, that one. All right, now it's time for What the Tech. And a few quick bite-sized chunks of tech this week, starting with the Norwegians, who have put out a new video about their process of getting ready for the Olympic Games and getting Gustav Iden back to fitness, because he's obviously not going to Olympic Games. In fact, we're not sure when he's going to race again, but he is trying to get back to fitness. They've put out a whole video about what they're doing at altitude, Sierra Nevada mountains, and getting ready. They've got core sensors all over them. They're using body rocket technology, etc. You could watch the video. It's a lot of explanation about everything that they're doing and how they're getting ready. What are we saying, Mark? Is Christian Blumenfeld going to defend his gold medal?
I mean, it'd be hard to bet against him.
Would it though? Because I
was going to say, but with Alex Yee and Hayden Wild,
he's not been in the same form he was leading into Tokyo either. I mean, leading into Tokyo, he was doing a bit better than he is now, and obviously he's done a lot in between that makes him one of the best triathletes in the world has ever seen, but he's not quite at the form of World Triathlon Series.
But you can't argue with them leaving no stone unturned. I mean, geez, they do a lot of testing, and we've seen it all over the social media, Body Rocket, and various people doing all this testing. So,
if they don't get any more results, though, is everyone going to just go, you know what, the Norwegian method didn't actually work, and just go back?
I mean, come on, James, they've had pretty good
results.
They've
had pretty good results, yeah, too.
I'm excited to see, obviously, the Surpass suit with the core temperatures under, so it'd be interesting to see what comes of all of that testing. Moving on, and also this weekend was a big weekend in the gravel world. We had the Unbound Gravel event. Now, we've spoken a lot about gravel racing on the channel before, and they are becoming more and more obsessed around aerodynamics and various things. I've seen them using aero bars during racing.
A bit like following triathlon 30 years later down the line.
Kind of. And you'd think very different events, but actually there are some similarities, I guess. Long distance events, very much self-sufficient, and this whole kind of push towards aerodynamics and things like that.
Like triathlon 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we have seen the athletes putting bladders down the front of their suits like they have in triathlon. They've actually brought out a couple of products, or some brands have, this last week for the Unbound Gravel event. So Castelli with their Unlimited Pro jersey, and Rapha with their Blaerosuit. And basically what they've got is a pocket on the back of the jersey that you just slot the bladder down and then bring the straw around. It just got me thinking, is that kind of design we might see coming into triathlon? Maybe down
Lionel Sanders really tried that in Kona.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people have done it with chucking...
Radar Artistic did it
years ago. No, but a lot of them are doing it, and they're just chucking bladders down there. But there's no specific design for holding the bladders yet. Not that we know of, that are kind of produced for mass market or people to buy. I'm just saying it, you know? There are some
Next
crossovers.
we'll see someone riding a Canyon Speed Max. So.
Imagine. We did debate
and
that.
it'll all blend together into... yeah. Well, anyway, we really enjoyed gravel triathlon, so maybe they should just merge them together.
Exactly. And moving on, we have some rather exciting wheels coming up. So from German wheel specialist Lightweight, they have just announced and released their Fernweg Evo Pro Wheelset, which has been described as being designed for riders who have tried the rest and are ready for the best. And James, guess how much you pay for those?
I shudder to think, Mark.
£8,799.
Yeah.
For the wheel set, I mean, that's quite, you know, two wheels, not just one wheel.
How can you justify bringing those out of your garage? Something might happen to them.
Right, exactly. So, the Pro version shave a whole 130 grams off without sacrificing stiffness, responsiveness, or strength.
Wow. I mean, I would need in writing from the race director before I started racing that there were no potholes in
And I'd need in writing from Lightweight that it's guaranteed 100 watts.
Yeah, at least
something like
for that kind of
yeah.
money. Yeah. I mean, we do our calculation that we did on the cheap triathlon, or how many watts we save per dollar or per euro, and see how much you get for those.
Yeah. All right, final one. Fusion, the clothing brand that sponsors the likes of Sam Laidlow, Daniel Backegaard, and various others, have claimed to be the first to have their own in-house wind tunnel to help develop their clothing products. So they'll literally be able to do prototypes and then just go straight into the wind tunnel every single day, should they want to.
They said, as far as we're aware, Fusion will be the first clothing brand globally to build and finance an in-house wind tunnel, making it available for daily testing and fabric development. And you have to kind of go, well, yeah, because Nike's just never really seen the need for it, or Adidas, or any of the other brands.
I mean, it is crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. I mean, I'm scared for everyone that's not wearing Fusion, if I'm honest, right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to come up with faster suits if you can try it on, put it in a wind tunnel, change a few things, try it again. I mean, that's, but a lot of money invested.
Yeah, very much so.
How much are those suits going to cost? They'll be fast, though.
And onto the race news. We've discussed it many times already in the show. Ironman Hamburg. Finally, we get to the pro results for you.
Yeah, the Ironman Pro Series. And points on the line for the Pro Series. After all of the drama that unfolded, Jackie Herring took the win. And this is interesting because it's actually her first full distance race in 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, what a comeback. So, she's back on top step. She's very impressive day all round, as we said, very fast, 8 hours, 19 and 14 seconds. Maya Stage Nielsen in second, Daniela Blemal in third, with Fenella Langridge, who was the leader for much of the day, dropping down to fourth, and Els Visser, who had that puncture and was crashed into, finishing in fifth. Which means, on the Pro Series standings, obviously we won't do the men's because they haven't shifted that much this weekend, but on the women's side, Fenella Langridge jumps to the top of the series standings now. Obviously, a lot of the series still to go, and quite a few people who don't even have enough scoring races yet, so it will still shake out. But that is pretty interesting. Jackie Herring jumps up to second on those same rankings. So, we're watching the series. Every time they race, the series gets more and more interesting, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Interesting, Jackie Herring actually posted this post, or the Ironman posted this post. She literally couldn't stand on the podium. So they had these big boxes, first, second, and third, and second and third went up, and then they called Jackie Herring up. She literally couldn't get onto the stage. She was trying to climb, she was trying to do it this way, she was trying to do it that way, and eventually she just gave up and sat on the first step. So,
Well, you can't question whether she left it all out there or not. So,
she
fair
definitely
play.
did.
Another very exciting race we had this weekend that kind of went, I guess, under the radar a little bit because it was just a European Cup, really, was this race between Sam Dickinson from Great Britain and Jonny Brownlee. Now, you might remember that we only have 2 spots for Great Britain for the men. Alex Yee has one of them, so his final spot. You would think a previous Olympic medalist, Jonny Brownlee, would be signed, done deal, but it's not really worked out that way for him.
Well, he hasn't really proved his fitness.
No.
He's not been doing very well. He only got, I think, 39th at Yokohama, and Cagliari wasn't much better. And he's also got Sam Dickinson, who's done really well at a few World Cups and doing really well. Hugo Milner, who's running incredibly well. So essentially the selectors after Cagliari last weekend were like, well, there's a sprint distance cup in Poland this weekend. Go there, and the one who does the best will have proven to us that they are the best selection, at least for the mixed relay, if not for the actual individual event. I don't think it necessarily cleared anything up, though.
No,
see what's happened now. I mean, thrilling race.
Amazing
Absolutely
race.
Thrilling race. Jonny Brownlee versus Sam Dickinson. And it came down to a sprint finish, and there was 3 seconds in it between Sam Dickinson and Jonny Brownlee. So Jonny Brownlee ended up in third. Sam Dickinson in first with Henry Graf from Germany in between the two of them, splitting them. They're all in a sprint finish. Now, on paper, that means Sam Dickinson's faster than Jonny Brownlee, and therefore you have to choose him, right?
But then Jonny Brownlee's got the experience, having raced at multiple Olympic
and he's only
games
3 seconds faster, which in a mixed relay is not really a meaningful difference, is it? Whereas the experience of doing previous mixed relays, even winning a medal in a previous mixed relay, definitely counts for something, right? I mean, Jonny Brownlee knows how to get ready for the day, knows how to turn it on the big day without getting stressed.
Yeah, as we've said many times, we would not want to be in the selector's shoes right now. It does literally just come down to their discretion now. And as we'll see with other nations as well, sometimes it may seem unfair because actually the rightful athlete in terms of who finished higher in certain races may not necessarily get it because they're thinking about the bigger picture. As we've seen in previous games where they've selected a strong swimmer to help support their medal hopeful, for instance. So
I'm not sure either of those boys can necessarily help Alex Yu
with
anything in particular, but maybe in the mixed relay. So they tough decision for the British selectors. Okay, moving on. We also had 70.3 Switzerland in Rapperswil this past weekend. Swiss athlete Judy Derren took the win there on the women's side ahead of Alana Siffert and Lena Messner in third. On the men's side, Leonard Arnold took the win there ahead of Ruben Zapunkt with Fabian Mussen in third. And interestingly, Andreas Silversberg, who you might remember from his spectacular dismount at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I had forgotten about that. Really.
He was on top of the world then almost, but he's had some real health issues, undiagnosed or unexplained fever, which has completely sidelined him, put him all the way back to square one. In the last 4 months, he's finally got back to some kind of exercising, training, and he just smashed it out the park to come back and get 10th with a very impressive bike and run for someone who's hardly done any training now. Hopefully this is the end of his health worries and we see him back at the best. So yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, good stuff. We also had Challenge Salou this weekend, which is traditionally quite a competitive race. On the women's side, it was won by Aurelia Boulanger. In second, we had Rachel Brown, and in third, Natalie Lawrence. On the men's side, it was won by Guillaume Moreno. In second, Kurt McDonald and Thomas Davis in third.
And then there was also Challenge Gunsan, which was won by Regan Hollyoak and Jack Moody, respectively, on the women's and men's side. And finally, there was a half in Gastiez, which is quite a famous one, actually, in Spain. Interesting. No, not such a big race, but big in Spain. The women's side was won by Helene Solou-Lulus, but interesting, the men's winner.
Javier Gomez!
Yay!
Hey, he's back!
He's back. He's actually racing the T100 in San Francisco this coming weekend, so he's definitely fit again, which is great to see. We look forward to him mixing up with the rest of the top in the world this coming weekend. San Francisco is coming up, the T100. What are we saying about this one, Mark?
I'm excited about it. I feel like it's been building up, and there's been a little bit of a bigger gap between this one.
Yeah, it does feel like a long gap between the last one.
It feels like kind of that anticipation is built up. I will still be honest, I'm a little bit gutted about the course. I will still be watching. I've heard that it's a spectacular views on the course, but I personally would just love to see them doing the traditional Escape from Alcatraz course.
The course they will still jump off the ferry near the Alcatraz Island, swim 2Ks directly into the transition. Now, the thing with this is they have to start the men and women together, so not separate races like they've had in the other T100s. Also, the water is, by all accounts, Baltic.
Yeah.
Like they're allowed to use gloves and booties, which in every other race in the world you're not allowed to use because they do give some kind of advantage, but they're allowed to because it is literally so cold.
Well, I remember a lot of wetsuit brands were making wetsuits back in the day for Escape from Alcatraz because it was so cold. People were just going, we need thermal wetsuits.
Yeah, but you don't want it like a surfing thermal wetsuit because then you can't swim. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to watch at the very least. And then it's 6 laps on the bike of 13Ks, which does have some climbing in it, some punchy climbs. So I don't think it's completely boring. I don't think it's as boring as Mark's making.
No, I think I'm just clinging on to my
your hope that they should take original races instead of changing them all to 100Ks.
Yeah, just do the ladder, the sand
I
ladder.
hear you, but I still think this is going to be a very watchable race, and I'm looking forward to watching it for sure.
We also have Ironman 70.3 Boulder, which is another Pro Series event coming up. And
more
also
points in that Pro Series.
Yep.
Now it's time for our new game, Try Spy. Is that the name we're sticking with? Try Spy, it is. Yep, sure. We zoom in on a pro, and you have to tell us who it is. So last week we had this image of someone's tattoo.
Ooh, do you think you would have got this?
No, not a chance.
I actually don't think I would have.
Can't say I paid attention to anyone's tattoos in the pro field.
But you guys did very well. We had a lot of people guessing this correctly. A lot, actually. It was Laura Phillip.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, and no reason you could see that because she's holding the banner above her head. So
yeah, they're probably like, who won this weekend?
Yeah, a bit too obvious. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll try this one then. Hopefully this one's not so obvious.
We've got a bit ridiculous now. I mean, are we gonna?
You got some clues in there.
It's gonna end up being like an eyelash or something soon.
What if they still get it? We're just gonna have to keep making it harder and harder till we get a week when no one can get it. Then we'll calibrate it back again.
Yeah. Well, let us know who you think it is in the comment section down below.
Say what? Okay, looking at some of your comments under our videos and picked out this one this week. Hashtag GTN Coaches Corner. My name's Mark and I increased my training load by 200% in a week. Is that bad? That's by Larry Lem. Under Mark's video where he ran a professional runner's training week, or one of their biggest training weeks in the lead up to the Valencia Marathon. Basically on no training whatsoever.
Yeah. Which is
what could possibly go wrong?
Say as I do, not as I... Say as I... No, do as I say. Oh my God.
Say as he do.
Say as I do. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
no,
there's Mark's advice. Maybe just don't take any of Mark's advice.
I probably wouldn't advise following what I did there. No.
Definitely don't do what Mark did, but it was entertaining to watch. Anyway, if you haven't watched that video already, Mark attempted to run an entire week of a professional athlete's training, which amounted to over 200 kilometers of running in 1 week, which is...
It was quite interesting to see what goes into it and why certain sessions are in that place. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Coming up this week on the channel, I played Jenga with Daniela Reef, whilst also grilling her about her career and everything else. Did I finally find something that Daniela Reef is not good at? I'd like to say yes, but we'll watch the video.
Yeah. Also, we have our final swim with Harry, who we've been teaching to swim.
Final swim, Mark? What?
That does
you were teaching him to swim, and now what? He's not swimming anymore, or you failed to teach him?
He safely returned from the pool. I'd like to point out when I say final, we accomplished.
Final video on final video on the learning to swim with Harry is coming up. Yeah, cool. Watch that. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week.